Greetings! You're watching Septum Sen vs. the World. I'm Septum Sen, and I'm here with Kotobuki Jake.
Hi.
And we are here to show you what we have obtained over this fine time of sales. Of course,
a little bit.
Right Stuff is back at it again with Week 3. And much like Week 2 and Week 1, there's only some things that I'm mildly interested in.
The setup of their sale this year is a lot harder to follow for me, though. It's like you have to weed through a lot of stuff. You can't see what's been added today.
They say, well, they don't. Yeah. They usually add just a whole bunch at the beginning of the week. And you just click what's added this week, and then they...
Yeah, but I swear, I keep doing that, and it looks like the same thing over and over again with just a few things changed.
Well, at the last week, which will be next week, I will probably go ahead and just do a full thing and take a look and just see if there's anything that gathers my interest. Probably same for you.
That's probably when I'm going to write my Christmas list, or more accurately, my birthday list.
And there's several of them.
Because they won't arrive.
I mean, NIS has some really good deals on there. Aniplex has some good deals on there. The rest are meh. If you're going to get Sentai, go to Sentai and get their sale. They give you better
Sentai just restarted their sale. It's going through, the start of January, right? And the Sentai sale's kind of weird because they've been progressively going down in price on their sales for the DVDs, but for this one they mixed it all over the place. Like some of them are cheaper than ever, and some of them are back up to near normal sale prices, and it's all over the map.
The Blu-rays are actually decent.
The Blu-rays are comparable to the usual Right Stuff holiday sale price. The coolest thing on the Sentai one, aside from the fact that certain select items are absurdly cheap, is that their premium sets are much cheaper than usual. The cheapest one I think that they have on Right Stuff, which I ended up, you'll see it soon in the pickup video, is $4 cheaper on the Sentai sale. And another one I'm interested in that's the same price on the Sentai sale is about $30 more, about $25 more on the Right Stuff sale. So, and even Flying Witch, which we just covered in our previews, 3 weeks ago?
That's
it's like 78 on the Sentai sale. So that's not bad for a premium that just came out. So, yeah.
But, otherwise, the only other thing I can think of, there were a couple of them today for, Green Day or whatever it is. But none of them, super big.
Yeah.
And then there is a sale Shout Factory is doing for the temporary. If you spend $80, they'll give you pretty much 40% off of the factory price. Which, for Shout Factory, that's good. It brings it down to the cost of normal DVDs, which isn't too bad. They've put out some good stuff, and I've got the Shout Factory stuff on one of mine on here.
And Sentai is doing something else, too. I don't know what it is. I didn't bother to look. I was like, oh, free money. I placed my order, and they gave me a discount. And I was like, where'd this come from? So, I don't know. Maybe that's part of the sale, or I don't know. But whatever the case, they've got something going on. Plus, they've reduced their threshold for shipping. Right Stuff always gives you free shipping with $50. Or actually, I think it's technically $49. Yeah. But Sentai, it's usually, 70 or is it 80?
It's usually $75.
75. But right now, it's $50.
Yeah.
So that's kind of cool, too. So, yeah.
Well, you buy a series for that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Other than that, there is, of course, not too much in the way of news. Next week,
a few things.
Is going to be our Christmas or holiday or whatever you want to call it extravaganza, because we're going to take those holidays off on this site. We are going to double up. We're going to have twice as many pickups. We're going to have maybe twice as many new things, depending on what really comes out. I haven't
there's not a whole lot coming out the week after Christmas, and so.
And we're doing a new format this time. For those of you who have followed, well, actually, you won't see that until Wednesday when the first one comes out. No. I did one Sunday. I did post one Sunday. So you can check out Silent Night, Deadly Night. I've been working on a new format for my reviews. I'm going to try a new format for this and for the pickups. If y'all like it, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know. We're trying to refine here. We're trying to...
we're already very refined.
Oh, yes. And
Yes.
apparently I've got cats trying to destroy my stuff. So, you said there was some more news that you had.
Well, I was going to say, in terms of news, I mean, the Golden Globe announcement came out today.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Or yesterday, or whenever it was. Which, okay, I cited 3 major gaffes with the Globes. First of all, it's awesome that Get Out is up for 2 awards.
But it's the funniest movie of the year.
It's
I
up
tell
in
you.
the musical comedy category for Best Picture and Best Actor. Now, if you've seen Get Out, you probably, or even if you've seen much of the marketing for it, you're probably like, huh?
Yeah.
Now, granted, it is written and directed by one of the guys in the Key and Peele series that some people think is gut-bustingly hilarious. And what little I've seen is pretty funny.
And I got
Get
that
Out
somewhere.
has a lot of great humor. It was much more entertaining than I expected. But it's a horror film.
Yeah.
Now, if you made the argument that it's a satire,
But this isn't the first time they've done this.
yeah.
They did this with they did it with The Martian, I think. Also.
Yeah, that
And
was...
you know, gut busting.
Now, again, The Martian is pretty freaking funny. But it's a sci-fi actioner. You know? And then, of course, Les Miserables. The funniest film ever. Now, of course, that was a musical. But
Yeah, it was a musical.
But, okay, the next one. I always rail against how the Oscars just do not appreciate anime. The Globes are worse. Even though it's the Hollywood Foreign Press Association.
Yeah, right.
They've put their nominees for... There are 5, as we've said before, I'm going to mention this every week. 5 potential anime in the Oscar race. The Globes did not bother to nominate any of them. Instead, they thought The Boss Baby deserved a nod.
I did watch that.
Now, granted, there is a
There
film
and
done in watercolor, like oil paint, about Vincent Van Gogh, and I'm like, that could be cool. And Coco is supposed to be awesome.
Did Emoji Movie get up there?
No,
That would have been the ultimate insult.
that would have been. And then the last one is actually about television. I don't watch a huge amount of TV, so I usually go into the Golden Globes knowing a lot more about Reputation. One of the ones up for miniseries I've actually seen. The one, in fact, dominating those categories. Big Little Lies is up for a crap load of awards. But this gets into another issue of controversy that I have always been, and that is, how do you define lead versus support? In Big Little Lies, there are 5 actors nominated for acting. That's pretty impressive for one show. Alexander Skarsgård is easily the male lead in the show, and he's up for supporting actor, and that's appropriate because it's a female-led series. Yeah. Laura Dern is a gray zone. There are ostensibly 5 female leads, and she's 4th from the top. Support, I think that's okay. Nicole Kidman and Reese Witherspoon indisputably among the leads. But I defy you to explain to me how Shailene Woodley is supporting versus Nicole Kidman. She had more screen time than Kidman did.
Did The Crown get any love?
It's got some. Yeah. There are some high-profile ones. I really want to see Fargo. I want to see The Crown. I want to see Game of Thrones. You know, a lot of the ones that you would expect to have gotten some love. It's an interesting list overall. I think some of the films that I'm now convinced we're going to be doing one of them tonight in the pickup videos. Dunkirk is up for a few.
Oh.
And I think it's only up for 3, though, which is kind of weird. Yeah. And then The Post, of course, is kind of dominating. And somewhat surprisingly, given the Critics Award so far, the new one from Guillermo del Toro, The Shape of Water, is dominating the Globes. It's up for tons of stuff. So, could be interesting. But we'll see how that goes. But, yeah.
Aye. I did actually. We were to segue into that. I did actually get some watching in. I've been doing mostly Christmas watching because I've got to get stuff fresh in my mind for reviews. I've got 10. I got 12 more of them I got to do before the end of the month. I've got a number of them already watched. I'm relaxing a little bit. I finished Santa with Muscles today.
The best Christmas film ever.
And I've been watching another series which is going to come up on this Pickups probably next week. That's not Christmas, and that will, but come used, and that's there. And there's another one that's having to do with Christmas called Dismembering Christmas. That was that's going to be up on the talk for the Inside Movies Galore, not this week, but next week. This week on Inside Movies Galore, they're going to be doing a talk on A Christmas Horror Story. I did a review for that in my original blog, Septums and Against the World, and it was a great film, great Christmas horror movie, second favorite Krampus film, and it has William Shatner as a narrator in it. You can't get any better than that. But for me, I've been watching mostly, the big one is The Crown. It snowed over here, so me and my wife sat down, and she loved The Crown. I really liked the first season of The Crown, and we watched the second season. Basically, we just, boom, hit it all. How
many episodes is that?
About 10. So about 10 hours worth.
You lucky bastard.
It wasn't as good as the first season. There were some highlights. I mean, Dexter playing Kennedy was interesting. They managed to sneak a little bit more of Churchill in there. But that one, that is a really good... They did a really good job with Churchill. Gosh, what is his name? Darn it. Third Rock from the Sun guy.
John Lithgow?
Yeah, John Lithgow plays him and does an excellent job. To me...
Of course, Gary Oldman's rendition of Churchill is up for the Globe. Darkest Hour is getting a ton of praise for that role.
It's worth it. So what have you been up to on your viewing?
I've had some. I rewatched Spider-Man Homecoming again.
I haven't watched it the first time yet.
You've been slacking.
And I own it.
It's a fun movie. You gotta watch it. It's a fun movie. And for those of y'all who haven't watched it, Spider-Man, Marvel and Sony are playing nice reasonably well so far. Tom Holland is a great Spider-Man. He's a little bit petulant in this one. But if you understand that in this version, Tony Stark is his mentor, and if you've seen any of the films, you know how Tony Stark is. Yeah, you could bet Peter's going to be a little petulant. And then, of course, his handler, if you will, is Happy Hogan, Jon Favreau's character from the series. But the new one, the very notable new one, who's from the comics, because a couple of the new ones, his boy Ned is hilarious, but he is a new character to the movie, steals every scene he's in. But from the comics, Adrian Toomes, a.k.a. the Vulture, Michael Keaton as one of his best roles. He nails it. And, of course, he has a lot of experience playing Birdman. He is. But it was pretty fun. I saw the Honest trailer where they said that, like, as Vulture, not at all scary, but as Michael Keaton, he's frightening. It's kind of true. But the other two I saw were actually pretty controversial movies. One of them, not as much as you would think. I went into it having an idea that this may happen, but I was surprised when it did. Given the whole climate right now with Hollywood and all these people in and out of Hollywood are having issues with their sexual harassment and all that stuff, and especially because the perennial punching bag that everyone comes back to, and Dylan Farrow rightly pointed out that no one's really talking about Woody Allen right now. It's kind of strange, really.
Well, yeah.
But everyone likes to punch him in this category, in part because of his strong tendency to have very large age gaps between his male and female leads.
But you see, the thing is, though, most of the people who worked with him There's only really one big case, and that's the one that his mother has put.
Right.
Every female that's worked with him has loved him.
The thing is, though, again, given the timing of it all, this summer, this had nothing to do with Woody Allen, but watching this movie, I couldn't stop but thinking about this. I saw a movie called The Hero, which came out this year. Stars Sam Elliott, and he does a great job. He does a brilliant job. It's one of his roles. Like the role was like for him almost. He plays a guy who's 71, turned 72 during the course of the movie, who hasn't had a hit in years. He has, as he points out at one point, he's like, I've done one film I'm proud of, and it's a film called The Hero. And he's doing voice work and this sort of, for commercials and that sort of thing. He hangs out with a drug dealer played by Nick Offerman, and that's like his best friend. He hasn't, his ex-wife is played by his actual wife, Catherine Ross, in her first movie in 10 years. And his daughter is played by Karen Ritter. I hope I'm getting the name right there. Kristen Ritter. Sorry, Kristen Ritter. And they don't get along. And Ritter does a phenomenal job, too. And into all this mix comes a comedian played by Laura Prepon of That 70s Show fame. And Laura Prepon basically hooks up with this guy. And I could not help but think, this is like a Woody Allen thing. Why was this released this year?
Yeah.
Why is no one talking about this? But the way it's done, the way it's handled, it's okay. And Prepon she's 37. She's not a kid, but it's still a glaring age difference.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it adds new meaning to That 70s Show. So that one but it's a good movie overall. If you can get over that whole part, it's very well acted. It's got good music. It's very interesting overall. It's one of those coming to terms with your life sort of stories. And like I said, Elliott is just a phenomenal actor. The other one I saw this week is indisputably one of the most controversial films ever made. You will not find me singing its praises. I watched it out of a sense of obligation. But again, given the current political climate, I thought it would be appropriate to do so. I actually watched the German film Triumph of the Will. The Leni Riefenstahl film, which was financed by the Nazi Party.
Oh, that's cool.
You can see that why it's held up as an important film, because she had an unlimited budget and she did a really good job on a technical standpoint. In every other standpoint,
yeah, well, it
is
a Nazi bankroll film. It's a
and I accidentally put it on without subtitles and said, "The hell with it! I don't want to hear what they're saying anyway." So the weird thing is, though, without subtitles, it gets boring.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, my attention wandered. But every now and then I was arrested by beautiful imagery. Every now and then I was arrested by horrifying imagery,
Well,
but mostly it's pageant. That's really what it is. It was a pageant. It was a propaganda.
It's important to have those.
It's important to see these kinds of things. Yes, it's deeply embarrassing and humiliating to the U.S. that our first feature was Birth of a Nation.
Yeah, I mean, that's another
but
propaganda.
You've got to see it.
Yeah.
If you're a film student or a history student, you just don't got to like it.
Yep.
And if you do like it, something wrong with you. I'm sorry, we probably just ticked a couple people off, but whatever.
Yeah, some of the first feature-length films were horror films, like Birth of a Nation.
Yeah.
And,
it was.
and
a horror comedy because of how absurd the...
I mean, even an older one, Inferno, done in 1910.
Oh, yeah.
That was very horrifying. Amazing. To me, back in those days, it amazes me what they do, special effect-wise, when they don't have the stuff that they have nowadays. They did stuff it took a lot of imagination, stuff that they just do on the computer now.
Yeah, well, like in Triumph of the Will, Hitler insisted on being filmed separately from the crowds. But you couldn't really tell that looking at the film. That's kind of impressive that they managed to splice him into those scenes. That's, but again, I'm not putting that forward as a film that I'm happy to have seen, but again, as film students, we do that kind of thing too.
I've seen plenty of films I don't like.
Yeah, I know. You probably do more of that than I do, actually.
Coming up on Wednesday and Thursday, reviews of Christmas Vacation, which great movie. But
I was going to say, you can't say that.
But also a review of Christmas Vacation 2 on Thursday.
Yes.
So,
Oh my God, that was awful.
It had its points.
Nah.
It had the guy from Monty Python come back for his role, and God, what was his name? For the European Vacation, I can't think. I couldn't think of it in the review.
I don't remember.
But it probably.
I remember you showed me that once, and I was like, "Oh my God, what?"
Ed Asner's in it.
Why? Ed Asner's been in a lot of things he shouldn't be proud of. He's great. He's a brilliant voice actor, and he's a really good actor in general. Yeah. He has done some stuff he shouldn't be proud of.
So, before we get into our pickups, one last bit of news.
Oh?
We've been talking about it back and forth. From what I've gained on some of the cinema sites, they finally agreed on a deal, and Disney has managed to buy out the rights from.
They did.
Yes.
Wow.
Fox.
I didn't hear that.
So they've got all their film and TV rights. They've worked out a deal. So Deadpool is officially dead after 2. I'm gonna guess because Disney's not gonna allow that.
Well, I don't know. They have other ways of doing it. Like, couldn't they release it under Miramax or something?
No, you're talking about a studio that wouldn't release a film because it talked about a woman's time of the month.
Yeah, but it was an animated film, and people have their heads up their asses about animated films. Live action, you can go adult only, and people get that.
They need their Miramax brand back in action.
Don't they use Miramax?
It's not as active as it used to be.
Yeah, but I'm saying, this would be something where Miramax having a resurgence would make perfect sense.
On the positive, that near guarantees that X-Men and Fantastic Four will be in for Infinity War Part 2.
I don't know about that.
I mean, those are things that we're hoping for.
It's not a guarantee because they're so far into production with the first Infinity War that they're probably not going to be much more than cameos for these people.
At least it would be cameo. I'm talking about the second movie, second Infinity War movie, not the first one. Yeah. I think maybe they might do a cameo just to show we've got it.
Here's the thought. Okay, open letter, everyone. Okay, they need to bring back the entire Fox slate as Fox did it. Do the scene from the Infinity Wars where Thanos wipes out most of the universe, and he wipes out everything Fox, and then when he's defeated, it's rebooted in the Marvel universe. There you go.
Well, they are doing Dark Phoenix. That is a go.
And from what I've seen, the early images, it's interesting. So I'm curious.
For our pickups, I'm going to institute a new ability that we have here. So I'm going to teach you how to do this. This is going to be really cool. So I'm going to show you how it works.
Okay.
So my first pickup, by the way, is the movie, the TV series, Bob. Now, I'm going to have it, I'm going to say, roll that footage. See? Did you see that? That was pretty cool, right? You got to see you got to see how to do it. So what you do is you indicate to do it, and it will roll the stuff for you.
Okay.
Now, I've wanted to get this for a while. It was $5 for 33 episodes,
Wow.
I'm a Bob Newhart fan. I don't know why, because he doesn't feel funny, but he is funny. My favorite series is Newhart, which you'd think it would be Bob Newhart because, well, for those of the people who know me, I work in a field where that would be more appropriate. But I actually preferred Newhart better. I don't know what it is. There's something about the series I enjoy putting on episodes. This I've never heard of before. I've only seen it. Did you see this when it was on?
No, I didn't.
I don't know why it got like 33
Is the
episodes.
full thing animated?
No, it's about him basically drawing a comic. He draws this comic of this dude, and but it has Betty White as one of his foils.
Really?
I mean,
okay, I gotta get that show.
Yeah, this is like really cool. So enjoy Bob. So remember what I said though. If you want to try and get in on this really cool action here.
Cool.
All right.
Well, my first one has the first two letters of that one.
Oh.
But this one is a movie that this is one of my exhibits in why the Oscars and the Golden Globes need to get their heads out their asses when it comes to anime. The first film released by this director did not get a proper theatrical release here, but it has been very popular on video, DVD, what have you. But his subsequent films have gotten proper theatrical releases. And I swear that Summer Wars would have possibly gotten the Oscar nod if there had been one more animated film that year. Because by the rules, they were one short of a field of 5. And Tangled would have gotten a nod, but I like to think the 5th nod would have gone to Summer Wars. But I'm talking, of course, of Mamoru Hosoda.
Oh, God,
yeah. He is a phenomenal director who deserves to be in the conversation with people like Hayao Miyazaki, Isao Takahata, Makoto Shinkai, and the late Satoshi Kon. Hosoda is right up there with them. And the first film that I mentioned that didn't get a theatrical release, The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, is a wonderful film. And then he did Wolf Children after Summer Wars, and that was great. Summer Wars was about family.
Yeah.
Wolf Children was it was like a Valentine to mothers. But then he followed it up with a film that was more about father-type characters. And it was a shonen film called The Boy and the Beast. And it is a straight-up shonen film. It's probably his most niche anime film that I've seen. But it's pretty damn good. It's a really good movie. And it's, again, I'd rate it probably 4th out of the 4 I just mentioned. But it's a really good movie. It really should have gotten at least an Oscar nod for animated feature. But basically the gist of it is you get this headstrong lad who wanders into the world of beasts. And he falls under the guardianship of this guy who is basically not very popular. And the two of them kind of forge a very contentious relationship. But it's really good. And again, this guy does become kind of a father figure for the other character. And I thoroughly enjoyed the movie when I saw it. And Amazon was running a Funimation flash sale where a bunch of stuff was really cheap. And actually, most of my stuff tonight is from that sale. This one ended up costing $13, which is not bad at all for that. I sadly still don't have Wolf Children, mostly because I've been so cheap I want to get it for $13 or less.
But I haven't seen it. I think you said you've seen it, but
I've seen it and I've read the manga adaptation of it, and it's really good. But yeah, this is, if you haven't seen any of Hosoda's films, you need to check them out. And yeah,
there's one thing you did forget about this.
What's that?
The trailer.
The trailer. Roll that footage. Okay.
あなたは知らない。人間の世界とは別に。おめえ、生きてんのか死んでんのか。化け物。俺と一緒に来るか。化け物の世界があるということを。 一人ぼっちの少年キュータ。
こいつは今から俺の弟子だ。
暴れん坊の化け物熊徹。ひょんなことから始まったおかしな師弟関係。
俺は師匠だぞ。
俺は弟子なんかじゃね
ぶつかり合い、
やめちまいな。なんで人間の子を弟子なんかにするんだ。
認め合い、いつしか芽生えていくかけがえのない絆。
え。負けるな熊徹。
キュータ。
あなたはどこから来たの？
化け物の子。
All right, so
Yeah, that was
the
good.
boy and the beast.
All right. So, on my theme, and I have a theme that's good up until basically after this one. I've been wanting this series for a while, but it's been expensive because shop factoring. But I finally found it. Amazon did a flash sale. $40. I got the Bob Newhart show. Now here's one that I know you're going to like. Take a look.
Bob Newhart, 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 Bob Newhart. Bob Newhart, here on Nick at Night.
Actually, you see, that was the Nick at Night theme, and I don't know if you watched that one before this point, but the Nick at Night commercial for it was great. The only thing I don't like is you can see how this type of stuff, ships like that. I mean, you can see how the little crack on there. And that happens with these types of cases. But I like how it's put together with the different volumes right there.
It has a very old-fashioned look.
It does. And with Bob, he is a therapist. I'm also a therapist. I've done group work before. He does only group work, apparently. And also, another fun part is his best friend is the best friend of the main character in I Dream of Jeannie. Which is a great thing to take a look. With any series with Bob Newhart, it's all about the cast around him. It's much like Frasier. It's not about Frasier. Frasier is a dick.
He's in that.
And,
Yeah.
But it's all about the people around him that make it special. That's a pretty good cast. I really did enjoy that series.
I like how this one person's credits are listed as Rugrats and Spaceballs.
Hey, not bad credits.
No, they're not. Right.
That's a lot of that's 142 episodes right
Really?
there for $40.
That's not bad at all, no.
Especially since it's usually $100 on Shop Factory.
Yeah. Does mine go?
Yep.
Okay. Next up is also a movie that was released here by Funimation. And it's notable as when I was working briefly in a movie theater, I managed to actually see 2 anime, which, oh yeah. What? Oh. Well, I was doing the preview.
No, I was
preview.
saying, wow, you saw 2 anime in the theater.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I was saying,
They were both ones that had very brief distributions, because Funimation does that. They'll do like a, what do they call it, like a special event screening kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, I've mentioned, I think, before on this channel, how very little I've seen of Dragon Ball outside of the first series. So, how better to start my viewing of the franchise Dragon Ball Z than to go to the theaters and see the 15th film in the series. I think it's the 15th film. But I actually got to see Dragon Ball Z Resurrection F. And let's have a look. Okay.
Yeah, actually, that is a pretty cool trailer.
Okay.
And to me, to me, I love that
Okay.
film.
So, coming to this from someone who had not seen the series,
Except for Dragon Ball.
I knew the base cast. Goku and Bulma and Krillin and I knew them. And I knew that Z was a generational series. I knew the kids by name. I didn't necessarily know them. And I knew Frieza by name and reputation. I knew enough to know that he's supposed to be an evil rat bastard. That he's supposed to be one of the most evil rat bastardly characters in anime. So I knew enough that when I'm sitting there in the theater and the movie opens with his personal hell, and I knew enough to know that this is a pretty freaking hilarious scene. It's great. You watch it and you're like, what the hell is this? Oh, this is his hell. I get it now. It's a fun show. It builds off of Battle of Gods. And actually, let's see if they're on the cover. These two characters over here were introduced in Battle of Gods, and they're really, really fun. And I did actually go and see Battle of Gods after this. It was the previous film. I missed an opportunity to get both films for $25 on Black Friday, and I was very upset about that. I still don't have Battle of Gods, but he's getting a visual here. There we go. But I got this one for about $12, and that's not bad at all. And this officially is the beginning of my Dragon Ball Z collection.
All the movies.
Is that all of them?
That's all the Dragon Ball Z movies.
Are some of those multi-packs?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there's several double features there. Yeah, like I said, I think this is number 15 in the series. But yeah, anyway, if you are not at all familiar with the series, but you're at least familiar with the franchise, this still functions decently as a standalone film. I probably would have gotten a lot more out of it after I probably will get a lot more out of it once I've actually watched Z. But it was worth a watch, and I was glad I got to see it in theaters. That was really cool. Yeah. I actually saw the English dub in theaters, so I've seen it in English and the Japanese, which I think it's the only piece of the franchise at this point that I've seen in both languages. So it's pretty cool.
At least you've watched the original, and that's the good base for the whole
twice.
Thing. So
that's just really weird.
Now my next one has a lot of pedigree in it. Mm-hmm. It was the perfect movie setup. Yeah. It had a great novel it was based on. It had some great actors and actresses playing those roles. Everything made me say, I've got to see this.
Same here.
And then, so Black Friday came out. They offered it for like next to nothing. And I said, I'm going to get it. And then once I got it, then I was told, by the way, the movie didn't do so well.
Yeah, it kind of sank without a trace. The library system I work for forgot to order it until it had been out for about a month. And I'm supposed to be getting a copy from the library probably tomorrow.
Wow.
But, yeah, I want to see this. But, yeah, like you said, so much anticipation, fizzle.
And that movie is The Circle.
Mm-hmm.
I am a believer in the perfectibility of human beings. At The Circle, we can finally realize our potential. When we are our best selves, there isn't a problem that we cannot solve. We can cure any disease, and we can end hunger. Imagine the human rights implications. The possibilities are endless.
Your payment. It was for $78.13 and the bill was for $78.31. Thank you.
You got the job at The Circle.
Have a drink, have a good time, and stay excited. You're at The Circle.
Hello, May. How are you?
Jared here. I'll be doing your training.
When I first started, it took me a few weeks to really get the hang of it. Believe me, you're doing fine. You should come visit me at work sometime.
You might think I was there to clean the toilet. Everyone really likes you.
Your work's been exemplary, strong ratings, but your absence at several events.
Sorry, my dad had an episode and I was home helping out.
Is that related to his MS?
I've been looking into your parents' situation, and I have an idea.
So I was thinking it would make sense for May's folks to come on the Circle Health Plan.
I want to say how much I value what you've done for my family.
May, you're a valued part of the Circle. We care about everybody you care about. May's only been with us for a few months, but she has made quite an impression. So, May, do you think you behave better or worse when you are being watched? We have cameras in place all over the world right now.
We used to go on adventures, we used to have fun and see things, and now it's all filtered through this. Does this really seem okay to you?
I didn't create this. This is not what I had in mind. Things at the Circle, they need to change. Everything recorded, seen, broadcast, is stored, and analyzed here. We can use it however they see fit, no matter what its cost.
Knowing is good, but knowing everything is better. So, May, is there anything you want to tell us?
So
it's a good trailer.
It is a good trailer, but to me, I still have a lot invested in it. I don't. Now the hype train kind of already been derailed. So hopefully that means that this will be good. I mean, you have got like two really good people playing off of each other. Tom Hanks playing a villain, which is something unusual for Hanks. It's not he's done something like that in the past, I remember, but I can't remember where.
Well, probably the most villainous turn he did was Road to Perdition, which was a great performance.
Oh, great movie.
And he was left out in the cold because, no one wanted to see him as a villain, I guess.
But it is a good movie. To me, I look at that, I've still got a lot of hope that it's not going to be as bad. Sort of like Dark Tower. I know Dark Tower is going to suck, but I'm going to try and salvage it. Now that I know it sucks, it's going to be there. Now that I know this is a letdown on what people's expectations were, I can approach it with a fresh mind and maybe get some good enjoyment out of it.
Yeah, the Dark Tower was a letdown. But it wasn't awful.
It's leading to a TV series.
Yeah.
So that's a positive.
Exactly. Anyway, the other, incidentally, that Funimation sale had the other movie that I got to see while I was at the theater. And this was another one that I came to before the franchise. But this one's complicated. Most anime fans are familiar with the name Ghost in the Shell. Most of them are. Mamoru Oshie's film from 95, I believe it is considered by many to be a watershed moment in anime. I think it's overrated, but it's a good movie.
It helped bring anime to America.
Yeah. The second film, Innocence, was highly overrated, but is notable as the first anime to screen at Cannes. And then you had Standalone Complex, which is a great series.
Oh, yeah.
I love the series. And I've not yet seen the second part, Second Gig, and I've seen one or two of the movies attached to it. And then, out of the ether, they decided to reboot it again as a prequel series called Arise. And so I came to Arise, to the new movie, having seen Standalone Complex, one of the movies, and the two original films. But anyway, here's your trailer for the new movie.
They want to fight? That's fine with me.
The world entered a rapid era of change. This country is no exception, of course.
Major, what's your status?
Prime Minister, no!
The hostage is cyberbrains.
Whoa, wait. Put those
They've
down.
been contaminated.
I thought they were supposed to be ghost locked. Why can they move?
The false memory virus.
Should have been able to stop this.
Pity you. One who was once so free, trapped in this miserable waking world.
You're always searching for a future. If only we could be the same.
You have to accept your limits, remember?
Seeds that you planted are bearing fruit, Major. I won't let them be cut down.
One day you'll see the diversity of information packages is endless. That they can give birth to a new world. A world of data without people or things. Do you believe in a place like that?
Are you willing to sell your ghost for the sake of some uniform standard? Sacrificing those less fortunate than you are? You've all been given cyber brains and ghosts to guide your actions. If you want something from others, you have to find something to offer in return. Build your future. Follow your ghost.
We're fighting for the future this time, not for another bloody battlefield, right? But for a place we can call home.
Okay.
Looks interesting.
It does. It was a good movie. But since I had not seen any of Arise, this film is a direct sequel
so I should
to Arise
first.
Yes. It's a direct sequel. But the entire portion of the franchise, Arise and this movie, are a prequel to Standalone Complex. So it's kind of the setup for that one. So it's, like I said, it's complicated.
Standalone Complex really didn't connect well with the movies, the original movies.
It was more of a reboot.
Yeah.
It wasn't closely tied. But a lot of people are familiar with various parts of this. The main character, Motoko Kusanagi, a.k.a. the Major, is considered by many to be one of the biggest female badasses in anime history. Bato is her close friend and right-hand guy, basically. And they all work for a group called Section 9. It basically a paramilitary arm of the Japanese government. They're run by Director Aramaki, is a very independent thinking individual, which is good because in all the series, one of the themes is government corruption and that sort of thing. And of course, most of you would have picked up some of that if you watched this year's attempted American Ghost in the Shell film. But talk about disappointment.
I got to watch that because it came on for free.
I saw it through the library. It's not an awful film, but it is not a good representation of the series. No.
Now, I do have to say, and Ghost in the Shell, by the way, if you go way back, one of my earliest top 10 videos is a top 10 anime that has brought, that's important to American anime as it is. And despite its flaws, and the original Ghost in the Shell, though a beautiful film, my God, it had flaws. And it still was extremely important in bringing anime to America and to the mainstream. Without films like Ghost in the Shell, you would not have a lot of these films like, well, Dragon Ball Z Resurrection
or the upcoming Pokemon.
Or Detective Pikachu with Ryan Reynolds as playing Pikachu. I still wish that they had put Danny DeVito as Pikachu. And there is a YouTube video that dubs Danny DeVito's voice over Pikachu, and it is hilarious in the trailer. Nice.
He's about the right height. And actually talking about the importance in the early, my early introduction to anime, my earliest introduction barely counts, but it was a series called Superbook. In the 90s, one of my brothers, who now disses anime outright, actually introduced me via Ghost in the Shell and Ninja Scroll. That's a very dangerous introduction to anime. That combo, I was bored by Ghost in the Shell and put off by Ninja Scroll.
Horrified by
it.
But also an important film.
Yes. If nothing else, the theme song to Ninja Scroll is quite gorgeous. But the, the theme song to this is great.
Oh, music.
I thought it was, in general, this is a really well put together film. And if you can get hold of Arise, watch it first. I will intend to watch Arise before I revisit this one, but definitely worth a look.
So, this next one is one I've been wanting to get a hold of for a while. But what happened is I was anticipating it. I was waiting until they came up with some save editions because Funimation likes to release their series in two-part in like little 12-episode chunks for $30 to $40, and I'm not going to do that. So I ended up saying I'm going to wait. And then they decided to basically halt 50 episodes into a series that's over 100 episodes. But then they finally announced Season 3, and that they were going to finish the series off. Finally. And that series is D. Gray Man. Roll that.
Funimation.
The hour is at hand, Alan Walker, and the millions of evil grow strong in the night. As the violent storm builds, something deep within you awakens. Now is the time to unleash it. The Black Order can help you understand your gifts. Welcome to your new home, young exorcist. We are the last bastion of light in a world gone dark. In the struggle between good and evil, one villain stands above the rest. The dread Millennium Earl. He must be stopped before he locates the missing innocents and purges the earth of all humanity forever. Here your journey begins. There will be danger, but you won't be alone. And if you survive long enough, you may discover even stronger powers within. Alan Walker, you are the last hope of humanity. You are the one, Alan. The future depends on your strength.
So, looking at that, it's a really cool kind of shonen-y, mystical type series. I talked about it in the last time because we talked about Season 3, Part 2. And this is Season 1 and 2. Right Stuff had a really awesome deal on it. I could not refuse that deal. It was something there. I really did like it. I saw the first, I've seen this much of it already. And it's just 50 episodes, which isn't bad. And it's like $20-some. I got 50 episodes. Which for anime, that's spectacular.
Yeah.
Now, I'm waiting for Season 3 to combine into a Season 3 release, and I'll get that. Now that I can complete it, I am very much looking forward to hitting this one again.
Cool.
And that's my cue to check on the stove.
So
you go right ahead.
Okay.
You can man this
Now,
particular...
speaking of per episode cost and whatnot, at $13, I got a hella deal on this series, and I got 2 episodes. So not nearly the per episode cost you were just talking about. But I just did what I told all y'all not to do. I went out of order. I did the movie first. And now we have Ghost in the Shell, Arise, Borders 1 and 2. Roll that footage.
Right after I landed in Japan, I received a message in an attaché case he left for me.
We received this from your unit.
Right after I landed in Japan, I received a message in an attaché case he left for me.
Even after you mechanize your body, your brain can't seem to forget the original.
I don't have an original body. So even as you gathered evidence, the truth eluded you.
Prominent intelligence agency admitted that one of its AIs was infected with an unknown virus through the net.
What's wrong? It's nothing, just thinking.
Tacoma, think with me. I need you to record my field of vision and play it back in real time.
What's wrong? I need to find the truth.
Very well. We'll attempt memory eradication.
These fake memories, can you really erase them?
I don't know what's real anymore. What's wrong? I found it. This is my reality at last.
had to know. Because my ghost was whispering.
But anyway, they call them borders rather than episodes. And they essentially are specials. I think each one is, what, about 45 minutes-ish? And the Funimation released 2 of these sets. Each one has 2 episodes. Like I said, $13 for set 1 is easily the cheapest I've ever seen it. Right Stuff currently has set 2 for $20. I'm very tempted. I'd rather get it for less, but I kind of want to polish this off and have the whole thing. That's a much clearer image of the major than you got on the other one. Arise is very highly rated. Not everyone loved it, but generally the people who enjoy the franchise thought it was a pretty well done series. I am very happy to finally have an opportunity to start it, but I obviously want set 2 before I launch wholeheartedly into it. I think we just covered most of what you need to know about this one, so I'll leave it at that. But again, there were a few other things on that flash sale. The one that I had to smack myself on the hand, they had most of the parts of Black Butler, but they did not have the first season, so that was like...
Well, that can be gotten cheaply, though.
Yeah. But, and that's a series I still need to get. But, Arise, the 3 movies, all of that was, about $45, $48, something like that. That's not bad for those items. So, those flash sales can be a lot of fun, and I just happened to catch it. Of course, they can be dangerous, because if you just happen to catch... But anyway, yeah, so that one started. If I get the other one, I will be sure to show that up quickly.
So, for our last, or for my last...
For your last.
Pickup.
Oh, you got it.
This is actually a release that I was one of the first ones to do a review of. I knew somebody who knew the person who made the film, and they said, "Hey, why don't you here?" And I shipped me the file, and I got to see it. One of the first, and there are going to be others on here where I'm going to review some movies that I don't own in the collection. It's not going to be a regular thing, and so far I've only done it because people have asked me to or have shown an interest in it. This is The Dark Side of the Womb. Now this, and before I go into it anymore, check out the trailer.
Justin, I need you to come upstairs to the bedroom with me. Help me with something.
Mom, I'm just gonna be gone for a little bit.
Who is this girl you're going to see?
Mom, I'm not seeing a girl. I just want to get outside for a little while. Mom!
Hey, Mom, check it out! I'm through this big old picture! The giant size of my little ass! Ha ha!
So it's interesting, isn't it? It's about a killer clown, and we know about these killer clown movies. And the guy who does it does a good job playing the killer clown. And it has some decent acting for a B film. And this is actually Sam Salerno. I probably butchered your name. Sorry. I think this is actually his first effort. And for a first effort, it's pretty good. I was pretty brutal towards the film. And I gave it like a 6 out of 10, which is not that brutal.
Awful.
Yeah, I mean, that's terrible rating. But to me, it was enjoyable. I did not get bored, and you know my cardinal sin. I don't care how good you are, how good your pedigree is. If you make me bored, bad. If the film's intention is to make me bored, burn the film. It should not exist.
No.
Especially if the film's intention is specifically to make me bored. And they're filming it, they know me, and they're like, what can we do to make him bored?
Sometimes they have to make you bored to be changed later. That can be different.
So this one actually, though, a little bit disjointed at times. I was kind of lost in a couple places, but overall, it's a pretty solid B horror flick. I really don't know if this is still offered. This is actually a more limited release, but I had some people who were able to hook me up. It is a very decent B horror film, and for B movies, that's actually a good thing. I mean, a 6 out of 10 is actually a pretty good rating for a B movie.
Yeah.
So, with that being said,
all right.
That's it for me. I'm done.
All right, and my last one is also a very recent Amazon purchase, but this was from a different sale. And actually, this was a cart topper while I was making Christmas purchases for other. I do that occasionally. But again, a hella deal. I had specifically planned, as I think we mentioned on this channel, I had specifically planned to up my comic television collection this season. So far, I have not gotten to do much, but I did catch a sale for Season 1 of DC's Legends of Tomorrow for $13, which is not bad on Blu-ray. I mean, that's pretty cool. This, of course, is the newest of the series that are considered part of the Arrowverse, and I had not realized how much it draws together characters from the other shows. I mean, I knew that it did, but you got Brandon Routh, the Atom, who was featured in Arrow and had at least one cameo in Flash. From Flash, you've got Captain Cold, who is probably the best part of the series, pretty much. And then Heatwave as well. I think White Canary also is from Arrow. And then Firestorm was kind of both, mostly Flash. I hear, unfortunately, that Firestorm has exited the series for the time being.
And they got one of the Arrow cast joining them.
Yeah, so we'll see how that goes. I like Victor Garber, the guy that plays one half of Firestorm. He's a pretty cool guy, and I was excited that he was in the show, but it's disappointing they had to kill him off. But
spoilers.
Hey, I haven't seen a single episode of this series, so it's all spoilers for me. But at this point, I still mostly just know it from Season 1 of Flash. But I do want to see this whole... I'm enjoying what I've seen of the Arrowverse, and I want to get more of it. And this is a really good start on this series.
I can't wait to watch Arrow Season 5.
Yeah, actually. I'm hoping I get more of them in the next month or so. But like I said, that's an exciting get there.
But before we end, one more thing before we go. And that is, let's watch that trailer.
Did I not do that? We are still learning how to do the trailer thing.
Alright.
But there you go, the trailer for Legends.
And we'll go out on that. So you'll have that to exit with, but in the meantime, let us know how you like the format. As we get used to it, we're going to move forward a much more smooth way. And, of course, please like, subscribe, share. Our channel is growing slowly, but it is growing.
Yeah.
And I do appreciate all of you who watch. I'm sure that Kotobuki Jake, he doesn't appreciate any of you.
No, they are very, very happy. Very happy.
But to lead us out, here's the trailer for Legends of Tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Blimey.
This is John Constantine.
Skinny Brit in a trench coat.
I am an accomplished warlock, expert on the occult.
Did I tell you I don't like horror movies?
DC's Legends of Tomorrow. All new episodes return February 2018 on the CW.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel to see more from DC's Legends of Tomorrow.